lot of creators I love released their childhood trauma video or videos earlier this year, and I became inspired to do my own, except with a twist. I actually released my video in the month of Halloween. A revolutionary idea I'm surprised no one else thought up. We'll be going over two things that terrified me and, well, still do. You'll either understand my fear or make fun of me for it. Either way, you're gonna watch. Please. As some of you know, I really love rap music. However, this fascination with rap started generally recently. I mean, I didn't really grow up listening to hip-hop, and my parents aren't the biggest fans of rap, so it's not like it played in my house or in my parents' car on the way to school all the time. Around junior year, when I started building up my musical tastes, I decided to dip my toes in that water, and my research led me to one YouTube channel in particular, The Rap Critic. Now, when I started out watching his videos, as I do with a lot of YouTube channels I discover, I do a total recall and watch all their videos from the beginning if possible. And eventually, I came across his video on the top 6 most haunting rap songs ever.
Why top 6? You'll figure it out.
To quote the man himself, these were not the hip-hop equivalents of the Monster Mash. These songs dealt with things like death, stalking, hallucinations, paranoia, nightmarish scenarios, and a literal trip to hell. The wordplay, lyrics, and production these songs contained were quite unsettling, but they weren't necessarily things that would keep me up at night. But then, we got to his number one choice.
Remember when I said we're about to get into some serious shit? Yeah, this is exactly what I meant when I said we're about to get into some serious shit.
Dance with the Devil by Immortal Technique is a unique kind of terrifying, and it's really the first and only time a song has legitimately terrified me. The production takes a generally sweet-sounding piece from a Henry Mancini song and twists it into a foreboding, unsettling tune. Just by first listen, it can already make you feel some type of way. The music video is also creepy, but I'm not really talking about the supposed main video that just has the live concert footage and all that. I mean the animated video by Viola Baylor. I'll go over it in the next subject. But for me, the older the movie/video is, the creepier it tends to be, because that can lead to an uncanny valley of creepy and distorted imagery. And then there's just the design of the devil, which just, look at the devil! Look at this! Nothing says nightmare fuel better than a huge hulking version of Satan popping in and out like Tyler Durden when you least expect it.
Hell fucking no!
And then there's the actual story.
I once knew a nigga whose real name was William. His primary concern was making $1 million.
Now, I'm a sucker for good storytelling tracks, and this checks off every requirement for a fantastic story, something that this rapper tends to be really good at. And honestly, I wouldn't do this song justice if I were to go over the story elements in the song, plus copyright and all that. So I'm just going to direct you to the video where you can truly experience it for yourself. However, be warned. It gets into some heavy material here. It may sound like I'm over-exaggerating, but I promise I'm not. You've been warned. Okay, now that you're back, imagine me deciding to listen to that in the middle of the night right before I head to sleep. Assuredly, I didn't get much sleep that night simply because that ending kept replaying over and over again in my head. In fact, I was so creeped out by that song that for the next 6 months or so, I couldn't walk around my mom's apartment without some kind of light on or noise playing in the background. Like, what I'd end up having to do is get up, put a video on my phone, and walk to the bathroom down the hall. I've somewhat managed to get over that uneasiness, especially for the sake of making this video, but the song still scares me to death, even if it is one of my all-time favorite songs. Now we get to something on TV that scared me, specifically a TV network's bumper, and I'm very glad to say that I have gotten over this fear. Now let's go back to the late 2000s with a channel called Boomerang. It was a Cartoon Network subsidiary that ran all your favorite old cartoons before becoming a channel that ran awful remakes of all your favorite cartoons. And Teen Titans Go. They'd have the more well-known shows like Tom and Jerry and Scooby-Doo. Lots and lots of Scooby-Doo.
Every Scooby-Doo ever made on Scooberang from Cartoon Network.
More obscure ones like Huckleberry Hound and Wacky Races. But if you wanted the more action-oriented and PG cartoons like Samurai Jack or SWAT Cats, you'd have to catch it all in a late programming block called Boomer Action. It's similar to between Disney's Jetix or Cartoon Network's Tsunami. Now, I'm gonna play a regular clip from Boomerang and then follow it up with a clip from Boomeraction. Let's see if you can spot a bit of a tonal shift.
This is Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
And by tonal shift, I mean tonal landslide. Yes, I'm aware that it's silly to get scared over something that barely lasts 15 seconds, but I'm also the kid that got scared of something as silly as thunder. What do you expect? Regardless, I could still see why I became scared of this. The environment reminds me more of a demented kid's bedroom, or a laboratory that's currently operating on wild action figures that came to life with freaky cameras? Honestly, I don't even know what that is to this day, but it's still weird. The music was also extremely unsettling. It's an odd way to describe it, but the music, along with the bumper in general really, flowed very random and sudden. Before you could really catch your bearings, it would randomly cut to an action figure or some other object, which throws a young kid like me off when you're trying to understand what the hell happened to this generally upbeat channel. And as the cherry on top of this creepy cake, we got the voice.
This is from Cartoon Network.
It affected me so badly that whether or not I'd watch the bumper, I'd get nightmares of the bumper coming on TV. Typically, it would just be me sitting on the couch watching whatever, and then in 1 millisecond, I'm in a dark room with just the bumper playing on the screen, along with other disturbing sounds as the TV comes closer, the voice takes form of a giant monster, and eats me.
Jesus.
However, easily the creepiest part in all of this, I was never able to change the channel when it was on. Now, I don't mean I wasn't mentally able to, like, oh, it was so engrossing that I just couldn't stop watching it, because once I heard this, I was scrambling for the remote. Nah, I mean, I literally couldn't change the channel. I tried turning off the TV, nothing. I tried lowering and muting the volume, nothing. I tried changing the channel with the arrow buttons, nothing. I tried going to the guide, nothing. I tried pausing it, nothing. I tried everything I possibly could, nothing. I eventually found out that the only button that would really work was the recall button, but until that bumper finished, you couldn't mess with the TV much. It was just the weirdest thing. Now, with the channel's rebranding, Boomeraction was discontinued, along with like 94% of the programs and other blocks that they air on the channel. But considering what they show now, I'd welcome that block back with open arms, even back then.
This is Boomeraction on Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Why can't